And please welcome our speaker today, Mr. Spencer Leung. He is the founder of Go Organics, and he is one of the regional team that helped start up Adams Organic. He has extensive experience in the organic field, and he's here today to tell you what are the good organics and what are the bad organics. Please welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Simone, for introducing me, and thank you for participating and joining me for me to talk a little bit about organics. I've been working in the Asia organic industry for 6 years, 5 years, and I've seen all the changes in here. And I'd like to share some things with most of the people, and that's some things I'm really close to my heart, into how to make things sustainable and rebuilding communities. But before I go in, I want to kind of like see who I'm, who's in hearing here. I mean, anyone from the agro business?
What business?
Agro business and agriculture. Yeah, agro business. Agro business. You're the farm, seafood, right? Anyone who has special interest in organics? Or okay. Anyone eat organic things? Right? Oh, fantastic. Right. Yeah. Any big corporations, people here around here? Yeah. I don't want to drag on people things in here. But how many knows about organics? Who understand what is organic? Yeah. The reason I think we need to be, when we talk about organics, I said, what do you mean by organics? The thing is, every time I go to the other farmers in Thailand, they all say it's all organic. Everything's organic.
Everything's sustainable, everything's organic.
I go to government officers in here, I'm looking for some organic farms in here, they will direct me to this is organic farms. And then they'll just go straight with the hydroponics farm, which I do not define it as organic farm. So I think to get it started understanding organic, you have to have a deep definition of organic per se. And then we have different people talk about different things. FAO talk about different things, USDA talk about different things. And I will tend to use the most the iPhone if people knows about the International Federations of Organic Agriculture Movement. That's my clear definition of organic per se in here. Okay, it talks about organics is a production system. Many people refer organics as the product, but it's a production system. And one most important things is support ecological process, biodiversity, local conditions, and to minimize the use of unnecessary input for the farm, which has an adverse effect to the environment. This is the basically definitions according to the global. It doesn't talk about anything chemical. You have to make it very clear that in here, in certain standard, they still have certain kind of chemicals in the process, which is allowed because it's not available things in here. And the most important things in the movement in here, we have to talk about the sharing the environment, promoting fair relationships, and the good quality of life. This is the essence of the organic movement since 1960s, 70s, 80s, now it's in the 1930s in here. But we see there's a big change the past 10 years or so, because obviously the market is going up, the corporation and all the products are more promoting these areas. No doubt about that, globally, organic products are increasingly. Annually, there's a double-digit growth, annually, globally. In 2012, 60 billion, almost 60 billion, and it's coming up to 72 billion. Even if it's since a lot, it's not even close to 1% of the global world production of food production. It's still very small, and there's still a lot of room to grow, per se. Okay. Development of ant is again, it's very slow. It's from 1998 to 2011. It's very, inclined very slowly, but it's quite promising. It's slowly edging up. The only reason because it's edging up because there's a demand in the market for organic products. Else nobody can bother to grow it, per se. And obviously, Asia are growing. Oceania, Australia, everyone are producing more. And mind you, all the states do not have China. China is one of the biggest players, will be one of the biggest. As Bill mentioned, they eat up everything. They can eat up everything. And there's a whole food problems in China, and then they're looking for good organic produce in here. So the market is there. So the largest numbers of, and there are many individual producer. India is one of the most exporting organic produce globally in here. And there are the spices, everything in here. And they got individual farmers. Let's say Uganda, again, it's very big. It goes to Europe because it's from Africa to go to Europe, and Europe's demand in here is going there. So it's globally, what I'm saying is globally, there's a big movement of organic produce worldwide. Nonetheless, United States is still the biggest buyer in the market, still right now because of the population side. But again, it doesn't count China. All the figures does not have China in place. Europe individually adds up a lot as well, but individually, Germany, everything, the population is still small relatively to America.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right?
I want to see if all Europe adds up to the United States.
Okay, yeah. We haven't talked about issue yet. So again, back to the whole thing. Organic is a big business. No doubt about that, it's big, and it's growing very fast in here. Most of us, you look at Thailand in here, in Bangkok, in many, you see shelves and shelves of organic produce in the place in here. It looks very good and people apply to it. Okay. But my question, my topic in here, is this true organic? Is it really true organics? Is it what we are looking for organics? That's my question. I've got two questions. One, the definitions is, does it promote fair relations in a good quality for all concerned? Right now. The market potential is there. Is the small farmers holders are benefiting it? What about low income group? Can they afford these sort of things? Normally the price over in Thailand is 2 to 3 times more than the fresh produce from Thailand. Right? To put it in perspective, right, in here. So what are we doing here? Is this organic? Definitions of organic, they need the biodiversity, the landscape. Massive organic field with the strips of kind of biodiversity things in here. Is that really organic about? No, it's driven by the commercial, of course. Is it in mass production? Sure. Or do we prefer some smaller farmers in here with the integrated farming practice, the permaculture, the eggs, chickens, and all integrated in here, looking at the whole nature aspect, building the community. There's a better organics picture than the commercial stuff. What about the regulations we're facing right now here? Most people will come across USDA, EU, Organic Thailand, and all these different things from different countries, kind of regulating the legislations per se in it. Yes, it's very true. It's for consumer protection. They claim it's a consumer protection, okay? Because usually selling the things in here, how do I know this is organic or not organic? So we need to put the regulations in there. We put the stamps in here. Is this fair? Is this fair? I'll give you an example. For example, the certification cost of exporting produce to China. Because China have their own standard. Okay, unless you are by the China standard certifications in here, you cannot claim your produce as organic in China. Same thing with America, EU, same thing. Japan, same thing. Okay, give you an example. Let's say we have a farm, two farms in the production and the processing within the region. It's very good. Okay, so we can, the inspectors comes here and visit the farm, inspect the farms, and there's 3 locations, and one inspector can do a trip. Very cost effective, in certain way. But the cost of inspection for the China certification is $5,000 plus sampling testings for the product, for the airfares and the commissions for the auditors to come in here. It adds up kind of like $6,500 US dollars for trip per year.
Every year.
Yeah, if you want to kind of keep on to have the product certified. Well, okay, let's say, assuming we can sell the things in China for $2 US, which is kind of like 70 baht, 80 baht in China per kg. So just to break even the cost of certification, we need 3.3 tons of produce. Just to break even the certification. Not mentioning the production cost of the farm, labor, etc. So with this add-on cost in here, of course, the price in the market in China will be skyrocketed high. Again, get back to the things in here, right? People in Thailand would know. Okay, you have this price, but is the market willing to pay this price for it? When the conventional one, the price for example, giving examples in northern Thailand, the Luncheon was selling in the market price. The traders buying it is 6 baht per kg. That was 2 years ago when there's a big harvest, good season. 6 baht per kg, and many farmers say, forget. I mean, you were talking about conventionals and commercials and chemical farmers. 6 baht, right? Even the farmers they forget it. I'm not going to even deliver. I'm just leave it there, let it rot. And with that in place, how much the certified organics Luncheon will be able to charge? Plus the location. Very big disconnect in my opinion. Can we afford it? Can farmers afford it? Is it sustainable? Another question I put forward in my topic. I believe most of the people knows what the sustainabilities is impact things in here. So what do you mean by sustainabilities? Right? I mean, the sixth grade in here. Just very quickly in here. We look at the different things in here: economics, ecology, culture, and politics. That's the circles of sustainability. If we can match up all these things in here, we claim this is sustainable. Okay, and then the United Nations use it, and rightly so. Meaning, right now everyone talk about sustainability. United Nations put the millennium goal in the sustainability, and everyone talk about it. So for organics, is it sustainable? Is it sustainable in my opinion? So it depends. My argument is it depends. It depends how you do it. We look at the whole system of the flowers world. Very quickly, ecology, society, cultures, the economy. You have the economy, sure, investment and everything in here. The ecology working on it, society, culture. But where is the fairness comes into play? Where's the fairness to the people, the communities, and the culture come into play? Small farmers' holders come into play. I mean, big companies talk about sustainability, so I'm putting organic farms in here. Rows and rows of organic. This is a very sustainable industry. Really? And displacing all the people, grabbing all the land and dismantle the small communities and for their own productions. Is that the way that the sustainability should be kind of defined and work? So that's a very big question to talk about. Look at it. Okay, organics. Who owns it now? Who owns organic now? Yes, it's a model right now. Very quickly, the yellow part is all the food processor in America. Food processor in America. Yeah, General Mills, Nestle's, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Kellogg's, all those people in yellow. The brown used to be individuals' farms, organic farms in here. They buy up. Basically, they buy up these small farms into their productions. Per se is in here. Per se. Cargoes, because of the market. The market wants it, I produce it, people want organic Coca-Colas in here, I need organic sugarcane, organic sugars in here. So they make all these organic products in here. You don't have the resources to build it, I buy it at your farms, I produce it myself under all this certification. So at the end, who owns the organics now in America? Generally, majority are the big corporations because they dominate the market. Is it very bad? I mean, this is, this capitalism, this is a fact of life, tough luck, why you make small. But it's not quite true. We look at the good side of it. There are organizations worldwide who try to make a difference. You know very well about the Royal Project. Yes, they are not focusing on organic. They are trying to do their best into supporting the rural agriculture per se. They do not focus on organic. Yes. Okay. Mi Farmer is a fantastic and very successful case in Deutschland, and again move into the commercial aspects in here. Again, support a lot of macadamia nuts productions in here. Yes. Again, they're not focusing on organics in here. Sasin is one of the network distributions in Korea. They have billions of revenue. All they do is distribute produce directly to the farm in their own way, per se. Second, in Egypt, is one of the organizations in Egypt who are able to turn the desert into a green pasture land in 15 years' time. And then on top of that, build on education, developments, childcare, and other things, per se. And the Indian one, Society Service Societies India, they support over 1,000 small farmers in India on spice, building a spice. And they are able to sell their fully certified organic produce to Europe, and they sold out. And they were able, right, even though it was NGO, to raise funds commercially from the bank to build a massive processing plant commercially to support more farmers into the processing side in here. But the background, they are an NGO, a societies, which started off with providing service, social service to Kerala. Because Kerala, if you know India well, is 30 years ago, 40 years, it's one of the poorest region in India. And yet, they were able to make commercial success in the organic industry. I believe very deeply is organic agriculture can resolve food security issues, address some of the rural poverty issues, climate change mitigation, biodiversity, sustainable interests, and most importantly, bringing sustainable peace to the rural area, provided, and I borrow the Chicago Council's authority, provided we integrating all the development policy, program, and partnership in order to support the small farmers holders. Unless we do that, we're gonna have a problem. You know? And then there is a whole huge opportunities for people to live off of the poverty. Again, provided we do it right in here. Markets open up. How we do it can only cannot stress it. It's a cooperation of multi-parties, investors, customers, value chains, academians, and all walks of life to contribute into this industry to make it much more sustainable, in my terminology, sustainable, which is inclusive of smallholder farmers and community organizations. So the argument is, when the consumers, when people have a choice in choosing the product, people should have a choice. Listen, you can choose people from products from here, or from you can buy it from Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and other things in here, or there are other organizations like World Project and other things that you to buy it from. Again, the onus is not whether there's governments or other things in here. The onus is whether the consumer will able to have a selection to choose to put your vote by night and fall. Where do you support? And for this, I thank you very much. And I can talk a long time about organics, so I tend to leave it more for discussions and other things. If you have any questions about whole global things about organics, what is organic, etc., please feel free.
Let's start the Q&A question. Who wants to take the first question?
Thanks very much for your presentation, which is very international. I've been working with 2 or 3 organic food players, and I agree with you, the market is growing. So the power relation is very good. It's good for farmers.
Mm-hmm.
It's well organized because there is more market than production.
Sure.
So I can see some medium-sized players going to the farmers, bringing real value proposition to them,
Right.
because they need them.
Right.
So the situation is I think, about to improve for
Right.
the small players. My question is about Thailand. What I know, but I don't know much, is there is medium-sized players. There is not all the big players from the US, not yet here. There is medium-sized players, perhaps not enough, and many small players who are difficult to organize or to get the means to have certification, which I think is needed to satisfy the customer demand for clear organic approach. So my question is about how do you see the Thai market, the Thai organic sector, and how do you see this can improve on for reach customer and to reach perhaps also for exports?
Yeah. Thank you for the questions in here. Yes, it's very true. The earlier you mentioned is a very promising growing industries in here. As I was discussing with Peter, farmers and farmers don't work together. You know, in cooperation they don't work together for many different reasons in here. So there are always the Thai, what we call it like a spot area. Small farmers doing this and that in here, but they never get united together per se in here. But the only thing, the demand is here. I constantly got requests from processing plants. You know, if you can get all organic fresh fruits in Thailand, say, I can buy you all. You know, I can buy. That means the demand is asking for products. You know, where? Right? You know, the biggest thing. Yes, there are corporations moving into here, create very capacity buildings or small. Yes, that's great. And there are small building up per se in here. The demand is going up. But again, the biggest challenge is how to get aggregated together. So that make economy of scale, right? To make it and in a nutshell, that we are trying to do this as well, aggregating the information, the produce in here, so the buyer will know where to buy the whole things in here. And on top of that, building that platform to provide support and capacity buildings with all those things, sharing information to other members, farmers group who work together per se in here. Back to the answer, the question is unless farmers groups works together, you know, sit down together, you can't meet the demand. The demand is so huge, you can't meet it. But is it bad? It's fantastic, in my opinion, it's fantastic, right? Because people, the farmer knows that unless I talk to many farmers, everyone knows, until you sit together, work together, will not solve the problem. So people are willing to sit down together, address the issue. That makes the bonding between the community, in my opinion, to start talking. Not that if someone says, hi, I'm going to talk to you. Because those interest parties with a special interest in this organic thing were able to sit together, address the issue. We bring cross-religions farmers into the organization network and talk. Whether it's Muslims or Christians or Buddhism, it doesn't matter. Right? So we'll bring them all together. So that creates harmonies in the society. That's why I try and stress this organic agriculture, the industry can bring peace to Thailand, provided there are people to collecting everything together in here. You know, again, it's a very promising industry. I mean, I got requests from Shanghai said, get me fruits, you know, all across Southeast Asia. You can resolve this one in here, we work together, you know. Single drops of fruits or things in here. If you can get through all the barriers and hurdles and the whole thing, there's a big demand in here, per se in here. Thailand is happening. My wish, although we are trying networking here, we have Japan, you know, where people working in Japan are similar, and we grouping the local networks, the farmers, small farmers group into our network in farms in here. We have people in India. So collectively, my hope is to, as a regional network, supporting each other to address all these demand issues. But most importantly is the sharing aspect of the whole thing. Because commercially, people, which I used to do it, like commercial people never share information. You know, in our farms, in Leung's farm, I have to say in it, they have techniques of growing certain vegetables, whatever, make it much more better. Why should they share? This is their competitive advantage in getting the produce in the market better. But is this the proper way, in my opinion, to do it? If you can share this information by farm extensions to other people in the end, people will learn the skills. And then you have more production. Single farm cannot be enough for production per se. Why don't we all work together, sharing information per se in here, and even also then address the market, tell okay, right, your produce in here, we collect it, and then we send it out. And the biggest cost for agriculture or any fresh produce is the logistic cost. They'll knows very well. Can we not share the logistic cost? Every farms, in Chiang Mai in here. I have farmers in northern Thailand, pig farmers in here. They cannot resolve the logistic issues of pig, of pork. They're moving into free-range pork in here. Again, it's not the processing side. What I found very hard for them is what they do is they have all the pig. They give the piglet to the small farmers and let them raise it. At the end, they buy it back. So you can guarantee income for the farmers. And then they can follow the process about doing free range, organically grow the whole things in here. Okay? But you have a problem. How to resolve the infrastructure? You need the slaughterhouse, the abattoir, the trucks and all the things. And these are only available from the corporation, the CB, and all those things in here. And the government is not having these kind of facilities. How to resolve it? And on the other hand, I have hotels and people can have much more good quality pork, pigs, How to get it delivered? This again is an issue. So again, back to the thing, can we all work together to create a logistic hub in area? Because the cold chain and all those things needs to be in place to facilitate all the produce in here. There's a lot of investment. There's a lot of investment per se in, but it can be discussed per se and how to make it work. Right? So, sorry, I'm keep on and all the things per se in here. The quick answer is yes, very high potential, especially because our population are spreading. Chiang Mai, Pattaya, Bangkok, up in Phuket, they're all spreading. Population no longer only concentrating in Bangkok, we're spreading out so quickly. But you have a logistic nightmare, how to deliver the whole things, Khon Kaen, big communities in here. But there's no organic produce in Khon Kaen because nobody didn't want us to deliver today. So the potential.
Is that what your company is trying to, I'm sorry. Oh, gotcha. Is that what your company is trying to do, is pull these small farmers together and develop a network? So, and then the next step would then be setting up the distribution of this cooperative, essentially, of the small farmers. Is that what you guys are about?
Yes. That's why I picked the name is, we are not calling ourselves our 80s farm or whatever. We just say supporting the Go Organics. Anyone supporting organics, we will work with them. So we position ourselves as we market and distributing organic produce. Okay, so we help them on the logistics and distributing, per se. And once we have that in place, that platform, and it provided the operation is sustainable, we were talking about resource center in Chiang Mai in different area, so that we have people have a farm, beautiful farm, okay, and they were able to use the farm in research and development, make seedlings. Have a community come here to learn about organic meeting in here. This is the thing that we're working on in Chiang Mai. We have two spots in Chiang Mai. One is in the Hang Kong area and one in West Sakit. But we're still in discussion phase in here. So this is something we're moving on to do. The seeds is one of the seed catalogs and opening seeds in here is something very important to farmers. And what to grow, how to grow. Where's the market in here? The farmers need this kind of information, right? And if we can provide these kind of seeds and support, to them in here, they will able to benefit from the production. And then most importantly, as I say in here is, okay, see, I can grow it, where's the market? And then we help them to distribute them. They will get that produce in here. We talk to chefs in here, what kind of products you need. If you like the purple tomatoes or your butternuts or something in here, we find a way to get the seeds, and then we put it in the resource center, try to replicate it, grow it in here, and hopefully put into the extension farms per se. This is something very, very long-term.
Do you guys mind? I have another question. You're talking a lot about China. why are we even bothering looking at export right now for the organic local produce? Why even look that far?
No, I'll just bring in an example. You know, the whole world populations, right? Over 60% of world population is in Asia. Even though you see the biggest consumption is America. In Asia, no, with the growing income, you know, in the regional things, there's more and more demandable things in here. There's a huge potential. I make the note about China because it's an example that even China can consume a lot of things. Right? I'm not a big fan of exporting. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a big fan of exporting. I think it's resolve the local food structure. Sell local markets first. Only in excess things that you go for exporting. So I'm not a big fan. Don't get me wrong here. But very often that people will look at are willing to pay a higher price for export quality things in here, which I look back in here, it will benefit the farmers if they can produce high quality things in here. And because local market there's a limit of local market. You know, I think they're talking about Chiang Mai, for example, giving its perspective in regions. And yeah, many people know northern region Chiang Mai is a very good production area for organic produce in here. But the local demand for organic produce in here is small. That's why they have to get the produce regionally into an area like Bangkok. If they have the bigger demand in here, why bother? You know, to pick it. So all the products are looking for a
Is
high.
that just marketing? I mean, is there someone actively marketing the local organics in the Chiang Mai area? Get some great hotels and restaurants up there. Is there effort being put into marketing up there in Chiang Mai?
No, there is. But again, the population compared to Bangkok is very small. Right? I mean, it all adds up. Everything adds up. Hotel. And the most important thing is you have a lot of supply, right, in here. And that the buyer is relatively few compared to other regions where they cannot grow produce. For example, Hong Kong cannot grow anything, right? So we have to import. Right? Singapore, they have to import, right? Because of these kind of things. So there's a market out there in here. No, China is just an example. I do not believe in export per se. You don't have to, because I was in India once, and then we have a strong advocacy groups in things in here. The more you export, the more water you are exporting. Like cotton, to drops all the water. Exporting cotton in India is a big issue, right? Because of the demand on organic cottons in here, more and more people grows in here, but they suck up all the water table. And in the end, the farmers cannot eat cotton, right? So I believe that that the farms need to be supporting the consumption, local consumption, but only in excess. Now, build on that one. I look at things is there are farmers who say, I don't need to do commercial. You know, permaculture is one of some people say, I just want to feed by myself. It's fine, and this is perfect fine. But I more believe in economic development per se, because I met with many founders on organic farms in here. They have a very hard and do it in here, but their lifespan, they're getting old. Once they get old, the thing is not sustainable. It's more hard work. There's no way of continuing his or her spirit into it. So I'm more into in his creating economic development for organic industry, so that the people can self-sustain. We need employment in the industry, so younger generation employment. You know, not only working in the financial field and other things. We need younger farmers in the industry, and many younger people. They finish agriculture. You know, either they work with commercials or chemical things and Monsanto, whatever in here. We can create an alternative industry, more caring industry for them to work into. Right? This, in my opinion, will draw people, younger people, to get back to agriculture. Thailand, as in worldwide, the problem is our farmers are aging. Right? They're aging, globally aging. So how do you deal with that problem? The only way, again, as I see it, is have to create a new industry with young and vibrant input into it. But how do you create it? You need a market. Without market, this won't happen. And it's happening right now worldwide. And Asia Pacific is picking up very quickly. So the potential is there. Potential is very there. But how do you get through all these things in here? You need expertise, challenge, dedication, all things to talk about.
More questions?
You mentioned aging. I'm not sure if that is the problem with farming here in Thailand. I think the biggest obstacle is the size of the farms. Most of the farmers, I would say 90% of the farmers in Thailand, they're not professional farmers, they just farm for their own existence. And if they have a good year, they will have some left and they sell it on a local market. And if they have a bad year, they don't have anything to sell. That's just the way it is. And there's no real incentive to improve on that. And if there's a bad year, they go to the big cities and work in all kind of jobs. And when it's planting season again, they go back. So that's just a circle they are in. Before we started here, we had a discussion. I think it only works if they would create true cooperatives and become actually a big player rather than the small players that they are. Some of the things you mentioned in the food industry, in Thailand there's no big players. If you look at vegetables, maybe not, but if it is fishery or poultry, for instance, then you have the world's biggest players are in Thailand. I'm not sure whether it's organic, but I mean, over there you have the Nestle's and the Coca-Colas, they are not the organic companies. But in the poultry and the fisheries, you have world players here in Thailand. So it's not, that is very much controlled by a few big companies, but in vegetables, this is not the case.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I'm not so sure what you mean by there's no shortage of laborers in Thailand, for example, is aging. All the farmers in the mean average age is much senior. But there are people working here and they are not Thai people. Okay, they employ Burmese and other people. In the after season, it's sometimes very hard to find adequate workers. The biggest issue, really, I mean, it's not that they're not, because people just work on minimum wage concept. You're not providing a fair wages to the workers, and it's not only China, globally. In Mexico and other places, they want cheap labor, right? They'd rather have some illegal immigrants comes into it. That's why people need to move into equipment, automations, and all of them because of labor issues. Let's say here. But this is, in my opinion, this is a phenomenon of capitalism. Right? But what we're saying that if we look at the organic side in here, if you want to make a little bit change, it's not going to save the world, but you want to make it a little bit different to the current food system we're doing right now in here, and more according to communities in here. Will it be able to make it a big players as a cooperative in here? I believe so, because again, the examples in Korea, in Egypt, in other places, they are organizations who are able to create an impact within the country. It takes time. It took 1976, almost 20 years or 30 years for Haslam in Korea to establish your infrastructure per se in here. But is it not doable? I think it's not doable if things people work together and keep talking about this area. The most important thing is there's a demand. The demand is there. Demands are clean and hygienic and good quality of foods are there. I have chefs talking about the food here, the tomatoes is tasteless. Talk about our friends in Chiang Mai, the hydroponics in here. Good chef saying this is horrible. It's just water. Yes, you see, yes, it seems because it's just convenient. A fair price is convenient. Some gentlemen care. This is called. But good quality chefs, looks for good quality of produce. They are willing, as well, they're willing to import produce from Europe and other things just to go for the qualities of the freshest produce. So that is the current market right now. China is almost zero growth rate in population. You look at the other thing, the zero growth rate, right? The whole population is aging. And farmers, the biggest problem I see on the farmers, they don't want their sons and children to be farmers because they suffer. They look at the cities, hey, get a business and job, go to get educated, go to Bangkok and work in when you're leaving, you're leaving and you're losing the skills of the farming. I cannot be farming because my parents and my family is never farmers, so we're never able to pick it up quickly. Yes, I may be able to study in agriculture, but it will not have the hands-on skills as the culture of the families of farmers. We're losing those bunch of people. We're going to regenerate the whole things in here, get back to the field in here. That makes a difference. And I'll give you another example why this is important. I was in Adams before. Because we built up this business in here. We have a student who's got sponsorship study in Switzerland, agriculture. Very talented student. Come back and then he doesn't only wants to work on organic things in here because he sees the other thing. So he joined us and in here. So we get trained and work on farms for 2 or 3 years. And after 3 years, he said, I want to go back to the hometown. Okay. He's from Gao Ko. Gao Ko, most people know in Gao Ko, it's all cabbage. It's all chemical. Gao Ko. It's all ruined. Soil is ruined. Soil ruined, the whole thing. It's the biggest cabbage production site in Thailand. He's going back in here, start his own organic testing ground in farming, and slowly he talk to their families, uncles, and then can we have more productions organic? These are we're planting the seed for the future. If we can provide the industries for these people to participate in the growing industry, we're providing seeds. So can it be changeable? Yes, it can change, in my opinion, provided we have a supporting industry, per se, to make it happen. And I'm not saying that we're the only one. That's why any corporation is one thing. We are not NGO. We welcome. I talk many things with corporations, CP, all the things.
I'm sorry, did you say you're an NGO?
No.
Okay.
I look at the whole things as we need multiple support. I work with corporations. I work with things in here. If they support the organic industries, I work with them. Whereas, let me say that some NGO have resentment working with commercial people. So, no, we would open it up to anything. We will try to make it as a the efficiency in a commercial way. Because one of the things we're still working on it, as I mentioned to you, is to refine our infrastructure, information, and these are the things we can input into the industry, input into the whole system to make it more efficient. Information. And I know, the whole thing is talking about, it's been used to be like this for a long time in here, but things are changing. We have the internet, we have mobiles, we have mobile apps, all these things are coming into play. So the dynamic of the market is changing in consumers, per se. All right? So how are we going to capture this one into marketing focus, per se, in here? Can the farmers do that? It's very hard. They're more specialized in the production side. You need someone more focused on the distributions and the marketing and customer satisfaction area, per se. So this is how all can come into play. We will try to be a good facilitators on distributions into the system. We'll still be running up. We're still a bit short of hand, but step by step. Sorry, on and on and on.
More questions?
Question. Yeah, I can talk days and days and nights about all these things.
So the farmers, you help the farmers and support community, and do they have to pay for you?
No. Well, we will talk to them. We work again. We talk to the farmers is that we cannot guarantee anything. One of the bad things, in my opinion, is to set too high expectations for farmer. Right? Thinking that we help you and then we buy all your produce. Right? This is normally what the traders normally do. Just grow it and then they suppress the price per se in here. We will take a step-by-step approach in here. You need input, you need things. In here, we'll find a way. Whether it's going to be locally, regionally, or major differently in here, we bring expertise, try to bring expertise in helping that. But most importantly, we will help is that to find the market. If we can find the market, it will work for me in here. And we can set a very incentive pricing, to them. They're more encouraged to move in it. But the basic fact is, why do they need to move into organic without there's incentive pricing? Why? Unless you provide incentive pricing, at a place in here, they won't go in the white water. You can be whatever chemical, it's not my issue. It's not the farmer's issue. So with that platform, what I'm saying is that with that platform, hopefully step by step into supporting the communities into capacity building, education throughout different networks. But most importantly, is the commercial aspect. And again, being a marketing distributor, is not only we work on the farmers community, we talk to NGOs. Okay, NGOs because they have the expertise in the local communities. Okay, they want to rebuild the communities, and we say, okay, why don't you grow something? We will find a way to help you to distribute. Again, kind of promising we will start step by step. You can produce, we find a way to get in the market. And our jobs in here is to talk to other people who want to support the industry, by eating more. Whether it's going to be restaurants, hotels, individuals, per se, in here. And the message crossing all the things in here is together we make the difference. Together we make the difference. And we support most of the promotions, marketing, care things in per se, and bringing customers to the farm. Work in the rice field, work in different area of the farm, and ongoing area here, so that you can get the consumer closer to the real farm. The basic case is most of the young people, you've never seen a chicken because they get a chicken from the supermarket, right? I have people talking about Malaysia. Okay, you go to the farm, the kids saying that, and then the boy, this is chicken, and then the boy said, no, mom, this is not chicken. Chicken have no feathers, this kind of things in here. So again, I see it this way: is demand is there. Can it turn back into economic demand? Yes, ecotourism can be a thing. Farm stay can be things in here, and further down the road, it can create development opportunities in the rural area, per se, in here. And that is, in my opinion, is what organic is about. It's not only the fresh vegetables. We have the pig farms, you have the fish, marines. It's a very great thing. It's about the people, humanity. It's about peoples in here. Again, crossing growing in here, again, the pig farm. The biggest problem, I don't have organic feeds. I want to go organic pig, but I cannot find organic feeds in Thailand. Is it not a business opportunity? It's a great business opportunity, right? If you can somehow create an organic feeds in here, using all those organic farmers in here, does it not create the industry? People does not have, the farmers does not need to grow only fresh vegetables for human beings to consume. It can produce the farm feed to the pig farm. That's a demand there, right? And this is not been lubricated per se in here, because we are still growing. Unlike Europe and everything, it's very integrated. The Netherlands is fantastic in the support of the whole thing per se in here. Again, it backs to because farmers and farmers don't talk together. And in Thailand especially, the point is, it's everywhere. So, this is how things are.
Is there any more questions before I wrap it up today?
Am I answering the question? I'm offering everything, Sorry, I'm just offering everything.
I have a question, you already answered.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so I would like to thank Spencer for being a speaker today and giving us useful